Hello friends, now the topic of salient features of Hindu state. In ancient India, there was no clear distinction between state and society. Ancient Indian writers used the word state in the sense of sovereignty or the rule. They looked at the state as the center of the society. Society was based on Varna Ashrama Dharma. People were to perform the functions of their Varna strictly. State was prohibited from interfering with the Varna system or touch of the fourfold way of the life. The state was understood as a means, an organization necessary to preserve and protect the social system. The government was a part of the society. The society itself was viewed as a political, religious, economic and military organization. The state could not alter the social order at its will. The preserving of the social order was merely its function. The state had coercive power but had to use it only in the interest of society. Law had its ultimate source. Society was embodied in the law. In the latter Vedic period, caste system dominated in the social thought. Government became a part of social welfare and became a sovereign. Society was a political institution. It upheld the customs and traditions of the society. The state and government become a part of society to protect the social welfare with sovereign power. Now in discussion about the salient features of Hindu state, one by one, there are 10 features of the features of Hindu state. Number 1, divine creation. Number 2, monarchy. Number 3, Saptanga theory. Number 4, Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha. Number 5, welfare state. Number 6, king as a custodian. Number 7, kingship. Number 8, centralization of authority. Number 9, no importance to individual liberty. And number 10, secret diplomacy. Now we move on the first point, divine creation. Everybody knows that in the Mahabharata, there are references to the divinity of the kings. King was really a portion of Vishnu on the earth. Established by the god, no one transcends him. Manu appointed by Brahma to rule over the people. Some other Puranas mention that the kings were the embodiment or the form of Vishnu, the supreme creator. Number 2, monarchy. And ancient India mainly concentrated on the monarchy, as it was the most common form of the government. There is no as much speculation about the origin of the state as about the origin of the kingship. The state had been treated as a synonymous of monarchy. So the ancient Indian thinker, the origin of the state meant the origin of the monarchy or kingship. Number 3, Saptanga theory. According to organic theory of the origin of the state is a living organism like animals and the planet, possessing organs, each of which perform a specified functions and is subject to development and decay. The Hindu organic theory of the state is based on largely on the Saptangas or the 7 elements of the state. The Saptangas or the 7 elements of the states are: number 1, the king or sovereign, that is called in the Sanskrit language Swami. Number 2, the minister. It means in the Sanskrit meaning Amatya. Number third, the territory, the Sanskrit meaning Rashtra or the Janpada. Number four, the fort, in Sanskrit meaning Durga. Number five, treasury, in Sanskrit meaning Kosha. Number seven, the army, in the meaning of the Sanskrit Danda. And number seven, friends, in the meaning of the Sanskrit Mitra. Number four, dharma, artha, kam and moksha. The term danda means a stick or a rod or the staff. It means military force, coercion, punishment, fine or even justice. Artha means capital or money, and the kama means the duty of the person to others, and moksha means the free from functions or the duty of the persons in the earth. The state protected and promoted dharma, artha, kam and the moksha. Point number 5, welfare state. The state was a welfare state for the well-being of all sections of the people. In the latter Vedic period, caste system dominated the social thought. The government became a part of this social welfare and became a sovereign. State was a political institution. It upheld the custom and the traditions of the society. The state and government became a part of society to protect the social welfare with sovereign power. Point number 6, king as a custodian. The king was custodian of the state and government. The kingship was vested with religious functions also. The duty of the king to promote religious and ethics in his kingdom. Point number 7, kingship. The another important features of the ancient Indian polity is that it was mainly concerned with monarchy, as it was the most common form of the government. The king was considered as the representative of the divine power. Even the enforcement of justice and law tended to be a royal function. Point number 8, centralization of authority. The centralization of authority in a state was another feature of the Hindu state. The functions and the activities of the state in ancient Indian covered almost all aspects of the life. Villages came under the royal officers. All ships were owned by the state. Gambling was regulated and license were issued by the state. Point number 9, no importance to individual liberty. All the power centralized in the hands of the king. The individual had liberty in the performing of functions of the household activities only. He had no liberty to interfere in the state activities. The individual had to follow his varna and dharma ashrama. Point number 10, secret diplomacy. Hindu state advocated power politics, cunning and secret diplomacy. In matter of the territorial expansion, ends were more important than means. There was no place for ethics in such political matters. And last, conclusion, therefore, the ancient Hindu state has comprehensively dealt with the socio-political, economic, cultural and ethical matters concerning the citizens and the states. Thank you.